a couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go out to Long Island to take some photos of my friends in the band Bad Guys, and also Thursday play a show at Sand City in Long Island, New York. I took my Leica M6 with me as well as a flash and loaded up some Kodak Vision 3, some Portra 400, and then also some Cinestill 800T, and I took some incredible, what I think, and also a lot of people think, are incredible photos of the bands playing this show. Something I grew up doing. I was a drummer when I was younger, and I had a lot of bands that I played with and a lot of photographers that would take photos, and I always kind of like wanted to do that. And I finally had the opportunity to do it, but I did it on film because, you know, I'm very much in love with film. It's what I do a lot of my work with, and I figured why not bring it into the concert setting because not a lot of people do it. And the photos came out great. And when I was done, I had the opportunity to talk to the singer Danny of Thursday, and he was telling me that in a couple of weeks they were going to be filming their music video for a new song they were coming out with in a wrestling ring. And when he told me that, I literally jumped at the chance to go and take photos of behind the scenes of this production. And Danny said absolutely he would love it. And I said, I'm gonna do it on film. I'm gonna do it mostly in black and white. And today we're gonna talk a little bit about what gear I used, what film stocks I used, the experience, and also what I learned and the photos from it. So first and foremost, let's go over the most important part of this entire shoot, which is the gear. Let's really quickly talk about what gear I brought with me and why I brought it with me. All right, so this is everything I brought with me to this video shoot this weekend. So let's start with the one on the bottom. My ride or die homie, my favorite camera, my Leica M6. I have the 35mm f2 Summicron lens on here, and I loaded this up specifically with Ilford black and white film. This honestly took some of the best photos of the shoot, some of my favorite photos. Really got that Leica quality look out of this camera. I mean, everything about this camera is just phenomenal, and being able to use this on a set to get behind the scenes photos is just like a complete dream to me. So second is kind of a camera I don't use that often. This is the Canon EOS 1N. This is a SLR 35mm camera that is very similar to what we know as DSLRs nowadays. You load the film back here, close it up, and you're good to go. It's got a lot of settings. I think it shoots at 1/8000th of a second. You can change the ISO. There's a bunch of great buttons. This makes it a super professional camera. And with that, I brought two separate lenses. So the first one is the 35mm Sigma f1.4. I brought this because it's a super sharp lens, and also it goes all the way down to f1.4, and I knew I was going to be in the dark a lot, so I wanted to be able to have something that I could really capture the moments with, and it's a fast lens, and it never disappoints. It gets really, really great photos. It has autofocus on it. Phenomenal. Second was my Sigma 70-200. So I brought this mostly because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't in the way of the production, and also that I can kind of be like a fly on the wall with this. It, like I said, is a 70-200, and I shot it mostly at 200 to get really good tight portraits. And also, again, so I'm offset out of the way of the camera and not in view of the bandmates, I was able to shoot and get some really unique candids with them and some great profile shots. Finally, I did bring my Mamiya 7. The reason I bought this is I knew I wanted to get a couple of photos of the band playing and performing with this, but also the main reason I brought this is because I wanted to take some portraits and staged photos of the band in the ring when we were done, and that's exactly what I did. I shot it mostly on the very famous f4 80mm lens. This is a phenomenal lens, so sharp, and I got some great photos of the band playing and then also of the band posed in the actual ring. These are the three basic cameras I shot this experience with, and I think they came out great, and I'm really excited to be able to use these professionally. So I feel that those were the best options for me to bring with. I have my Leica M6, something that's very manual and I have really good results with. Then my Canon EOS 1N, a new camera that's more professional, high-end, has professional settings that I could use to step back and not be in the way of both the production and the bands playing. And then also my Mamiya 7 to get some really awesome, beautiful portraits and photos of the band when they were done and then also when they were playing. So to start the day out, I got there and it took me a minute to find the place because I don't go to Long Island that much anymore. But when I found the place and I walked in, I was like, oh my God, this is an actual wrestling ring. And funny enough, I have a family member who used to be in the WWE that worked out there. It's just kind of a coincidence. Once I got the lay of the land, it was time to load up my cameras, and I loaded up my Leica M6 with some self-rolled Ilford 400 HP5. And then into the Mamiya, I started with Kodak 400 TX because I knew eventually I would do at least one roll of Portra 800. And once that was done, we were off to the races. The first thing they wanted to shoot was the interview scene where Danny, the singer of Guernsey, would be interviewing and singing to the camera like those old school wrestling promos we all remember as kids. They also had one scene where the heel would be interviewed, but he was just singing some important parts of the actual song. And I made sure to really, like, again, stick back so I wasn't in the way of the whole production, the cameras and everything. And again, I wanted to get the most candid possible photos from this shoot, and being able to stand back with my long lens let me get some really unique photos of both the interviews and not really be in the way of the whole thing. So when that was done, the next part was Danny was gonna wrestle the heel, which I did not know that Danny knew how to wrestle as well as he did. This kid was doing Hurricane Ranas. He was doing jumps off the top rope. He was doing drop kicks. This kid put himself through the literal ringer. And I wanted to make sure to post myself up outside of the ring and capture some of the incredible moments of Danny's spectacular wrestling performance. And after that, I feel I got some really good photos of Danny performing. I wanted to get some photos of the band playing in the ring, which is going to be the second part of the video. It was going to be interlaced and everything like that. I popped off a bunch of shots, but I ran out of film because I didn't bring enough film. It's something I need to add to this tattoo. I got my SD card, battery, and camera. I need to add right here below the Kodak logo, film. So I had to run to a local camera shop and I picked up 2 rolls of Cinestill 800T, threw them in my Canon camera, and just took some fantastic fun photos of the band playing in the ring that just blew me away. It's just, I love Cinestill. I can't say that enough. Like, Cinestill, give me just a roll of film and I'll say you sponsor me. That's all I need. So after the whole thing of them doing their, performance in the ring and getting those photos, I asked them to just hang back for a second. I did shoot that one roll in the Mamiya 7 of black and white, and I'll tell you, man, my favorite black and white photos from the entire day was on that Mamiya 7. They just look so good and so just editorial and artistic at the same time. I love them. I mean, they just captured the light, the contrast, and everything. But when we were done, I said, can we just take a couple of photos in the ring with the Mamiya 7 and some Portra 800? And that's exactly what we did. And they're some of my favorites of the day. They look great and everything. So that was my real first experience of doing behind the scenes photography all on film. I've done behind the scenes photography on television shows and movies, but I've never done a music video on film. So this is the part of the video where I say, do you know musicians, artists, other people that would love to have someone like me on set, BTS, getting documentary editorial style photos for a really good price in their music video or at their show or something like this? This isn't the first time I've ever done a show on film. I did my friend Huata's performance on film in Brooklyn. They came out great. So this is something I'm trying to do more of. So let me know in the comments below if you know anybody that would like something like this, what you thought of the photos. Did they come out as good as you would hope? Do you like this whole idea of like doing more professional gigs like concerts and music videos and editorial on film? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you know any musicians that want to do this done. Remember to just shoot, and I will see you in the next one.